Hello friends, welcome again to my YouTube channel where you will master Cloud and Finops. So before we proceed, please hit the bell icon and subscribe the channel so you will get the notification about my upcoming uploads. So in today's video, we are going to talk about a very basic topic of cloud, which is cloud tagging. So though it is very basic topic, but it is very important in terms of Finops, as Finops definition itself says that FinOps is all about the enforcing the culture of accountability, and accountability can be monitored easily with the help of tagging. So tagging you can consider a core of FinOps. Without the appropriate tagging, you cannot imagine the successful FinOps adoption. So I asked this question during the interviews to the multiple candidates that what exactly the tagging is and what is their thought process with respect to tagging. And most of the time, I see the wrong answers that they refer tagging is a mechanism to identify the resource, which could be partially true, but it is not all about. So if I will go via definition, cloud tagging is nothing but it is a metadata, or it is a mechanism to provide the metadata to the cloud resource, and ultimately this metadata is adding more context to the cloud resource. So that context can be utilized via different stakeholder for different purposes, maybe for billing report or for automation, and so on and so forth. So in nutshell, tagging is adding the metadata which will add further context to the cloud resource. That further context could be anything. So it could be maybe owner name, it could be cost centers or applications, environment, the launch date of that resource, or a project where that resource belongs to. So these are a couple of key recommended tags which every organization is recommended to have it. There are many number of tags or n number of tags which organization can define based on their tagging strategy. So ultimately, as soon as these tags will be added to the particular cloud resource, it will add the further metadata and context to that particular resource. So whether having these tags is enough or not. So this is again one more question. So in my opinion and in my experience, no. Wherever I've worked, so far I worked with almost 50 plus customers, and I see the common problem with all the cloud customer is that they are having these tags. Some have all the tags, some have partial tags, but these tags are configured inconsistently. So some of the resource are having these tags, some are not. Some of the resource have these tags in this format, some will have in other terms. So for example, owner. So take the example of owner. One customer may have this tag with the tag name called owner. Some will have owner name. Some will have owner value, or some will have just owner in the lower case. So tags are always case sensitive as well. And we need to ensure that every customer should have tags, and along with that, they should have a clean tags. When I'm saying clean tags means if a owner tag is there in the environment, every resource should have owner tag in the same format. Why? Because tomorrow, if they want to leverage these tags for any kind of report, any kind of automation, then they not need to configure the multiple tag names. So I worked in one ecosystem where environment tag was configured in a different way. Some resources were having the tag name called environment in uppercase, some were having in lowercase, somewhere the of environment was in uppercase. Similarly, some of the resources were having the environment tag with E in a lowercase as well. The environment spelling was wrong. Some were having only ENV tag. Ultimately, purpose was same, but as long as these tags are configured in this way, unhygienic way, then organization or enterprise or FinOps team will not able to leverage these tags for the report summarization or for any kind of automation. So along with having tag, important fact is to ensure that we need to have a consistent tagging across the cloud resources. So now how to configure these tags? These tags can be configured manually via infrastructure as a code or via policies as well. So when I'm saying manually, individual has to go in each cloud resource and they have to configure each tags and then value of these tags. So obviously this approach will have a exposure to the human errors. So standard way is infrastructure as a code, where you will use the certain automation, so tag names and values will be configured consistently. Then another matured way is to have a tagging via policies. So tag name can be configured via policies. As soon as you will have a policies in place, automatically whenever you will configure or provision any resource, they will inherit the tag from the policy itself. So there is no chance of inconsistent tagging. So ultimately via automated or via policies, via automated way or via policies, you can have a consistent tagging. Now, these tags are very common in nature. So owner is very self-explanatory, who is the owner of that resource, which applications that resource belongs to, which environment, whether it is prod or dev or test or pre-prod environment where that resource belongs to. Sometime the projects which own the resources, or who is the cost center, or basically to be precise, the center will pay the cost for that particular resource, right? And similarly, launch date is solve functionality. The new term which is added here is the cost center. So might be some of you who are very new to FinOps and not aware what the cost center is. So cost center is nothing but a smallest unit of organization who is going to pay for that particular resource. It could be project, it could be team, it could be department. It depends on individual organization or enterprise how they want to define the cost centers. Some of the organization or enterprise define the unique number as well to that particular cost centers, and some may not have. Sometime organizations say it as a profit center, sometime cost center, sometime work order number or WON. So it depends on the organization, but the ultimate purpose is to identify which function or which unit is going to pay for that particular resource. So in this way, that is what I wanted to talk about the cloud tagging. It is very important fact that we should use the cloud tagging holistically in the ecosystem to ensure that we will able to enforce the culture of accountability. And tomorrow, any point of time, if we want to utilize these tags for any kind of reporting or automation, we can easily do it. So in case if you have any further question around the tagging and tagging strategy, feel free to ask in the comment section. Do not forget to hit the share and subscribe button so that you will get the notification about my upcoming videos. Till the time, stay tuned. Have a wonderful day ahead. Please take care and bye bye.